What is going on, Internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest team on YouTube. We are here today with our Week 8 battle of the NPBA against GentlemanThomas and the Copenhagen Gallades. It's going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our matchup for our Week 8 battle of the NPBA against Coach GentlemanThomas and the Copenhagen Gallades. He's got a very scary team, but I think we have a pretty solid squad to take him on this week. His first mon is Landorus Incarnate. It does get Sheer Force in this league, which makes it one of the most terrifying wall breakers in the format. Sheer Force, Life Orb, Earth Powers, Psychics, Sludge Waves, Rock Slides. They all do so much damage coming off that base. 115 special attack stat, I believe. It's got a very respectable physical move pool as well, and it can U-turn around. It can bulk up and Calm Mind. It can knock off for utility and stuff. It also can set stealth rocks and remove them with defog. It just kind of does it all. I really don't have a good answer for Landorus. He can just run like Life Orb, Sheer Force, 4 attacks, and just kind of body my entire team. So hopefully I can come in and revenge it and do some other things against it. But otherwise, I don't really have a whole lot for it. Next up is Terrakion, a very scary rock and fighting type with a justified ability. Hits incredibly hard at base 129 attack. And it's very fast at 108 speed. Stone Edges in close combats hit incredibly hard. It does get some solid coverage and stuff like Poison Jab, Mega Horn, and Earthquake as well. It can run Swords Dance sets. It runs Choice Scarf incredibly easily, and it can also run Choice Band as well. And it can also set Stealth Rocks as well if he wants that. So probably expecting Terrakion this match. It does a whole bunch against my team. Its speed tier is just very solid against me. And the one thing that could come, and the one thing I have that could kind of want to revenge it based on speed tier is Tornadus, and Torn doesn't want to take that thing on it also. Probably expecting Terrakion this week. Next up is Mega Aggron, an incredibly bulky steel type with the filter ability. It's got massive defense at base 230, and in conjunction with filter, it just takes hits for days. It's got a very solid attack set as well at base 140. It's got a very solid move pool, stuff like Heavy Slam, Earthquake, the Elemental Punches, Rock Slide. It's a very reliable stealth rocker. It can Iron Defense and Body Press as well, which is very scary. So again, probably expecting Mega Aggron. It's his best switch into Tapu Lele, so I'm probably just expecting a fully specially defensive Mega Aggron to try to take on Lele. Next up is Tangrowth, a very bulky grass type with the Regenerator ability. It's a fantastic defensive pivot. It's got very solid HP and defense. It's also a very solid assault vest, easy to beef up. It's lackluster special defense. Probably expecting Tangrowth this match. Again, it's just a solid switch into Dracovish. Vicious Wrens aren't doing a whole lot. Neither would anything like a Crunch or Outrage or Ice Fang or anything of the sort. So probably just expecting physically defensive Tangrowth this week with something like Giga Drain, maybe Sleep Powder. Next up is Milotic, an incredibly bulky water type with the competitive and Marvel scale abilities. Again, a solid switch into Dracovish. So I could see both. I could see one or the other, but probably, at least right now, I'm expecting both of them. It's a very solid pivot with Flip Turn. It can recover up for longevity. It can just spam Scalds for a bunch of consistent damage and spreading some burns and stuff. With Marvel scale, it's very physically defensive, and he can also run some cheesy sets with competitive to boost up and just put on a lot of pressure. So definitely got to watch out for Milotic this week. Next up is Galarian Slowking, an incredibly bulky poison and psychic type with the Regenerator ability. It's a fantastic assault vest user with moves like Psychic, Psyshock, and Future Sight, Sludge Bomb, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Surf. It just gets an absolutely insane move pool, and it's incredibly bulky. With the combination of the assault vest, its great bulk, and the Regenerator ability to pivot out. If he's not running AV, he can also run some moves like Iron Defense, Calm Mind, and Nasty Plot to boost up. It does get non-passive recovery and slack off as well. But if it comes this week, I'd probably just expect a Assault Vest set. I don't think it probably comes just because I have a couple of things that kind of run it through, like Urshifu and Aegis, and Lele can run Psyshock to just kind of rip right through it. So not expecting G-King this week, but if it does come, I have to watch out for it. Next up is Comfey, pretty cool fairy type down in the low tiers with the Triage ability. Triage increases the priority of its healing moves such as Draining Kiss and Synthesis and stuff like that. So definitely expecting Comfey this week. It's his best way to revenge Urshifu just because Draining Kiss will be boosted up in priority, and it can just kind of rip me through. It's also one of his better switch-ins to Urshifu. He does have to watch out for a Banded Iron Hit or Poison Jab though. That would do a lot. But if he can switch it in, he can scare me out pretty good with Draining Kiss. He can pivot around with U-Turn, set Leech Seeds, defog Hazards away, and do a couple other things. Next up is Frostlass, a very cool Ice and Ghost type with the Cursed Body ability. It's a very solid offensive threat with great dual stab and triple axle and poltergeist on the physical side. It can also run Ice Beam and Shadow Ball on the special side. Get some solid coverage and stuff like Thunderbolt as well. And it can also set spikes, which is pretty cool. I could definitely see Frostlass coming this match. He could either be an offensive Choice Scarf set with something like poltergeist and triple axle to just do a whole bunch of things against my team, or he could also try to set some spikes against me and then, be especially offensive with Ice Beam and Shadow Ball, as my removal isn't super stellar. Next up is Morpeko, a pretty cool electric and dark type with the Hunger Switch ability. Aura Wheels hit very, very hard, and he can steamroll in the late game under the right circumstances. Does get some other good moves such as Crunch and Ice Fang as well, and it's a pretty solid rapid spinner. Not really expecting more Pico this week. I have a couple things that shut it down pretty good, namely Gigalith and Sandslash, and so I think he's got a bunch of other mons that are better to fill the slots this week. Next up is Turtonator, a pretty cool fire and dragon type with the Shell Armor ability. It's a pretty solid rapid spinner with a good defensive typing and very solid defenses at base 130, I believe. It's also a pretty solid Shell Smash threat, capable of doing some big work with moves like Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Earthquake, and a couple other things. And then last but not least, he's got Whirlipede, a pretty cool bug and poison type with the speed boost ability. It's a very solid lead with stuff like Toxic Spikes, Spikes, and Endeavor. You can also just speed boost up or just be bulky and annoying with Eviolite, but I don't really think Whirlipede comes. Again, he could bring it to try to hazard stack me as my removal isn't super solid, but Aegislash would kind of just shut down an Endeavor set, so I'm not really expecting that. But with all that out of the way, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, we are rocking Tylong. Big Ty running a Choice Band set this week with the Unseen Fist ability, Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Iron Head, and U-Turn. Max attack, Adamant, with 248 HP, and then 16 in speed. His team is very, very slow on the whole, so I'm able to run a ton of bulk on my attackers this week, which I really enjoy. But he doesn't have solid switch-ins for Wicked Blow plus Close Combat, just barring huge natural bulk. Iron Head is there for that Comb Face switching in, and then U-Turn is there for pivoting around the team. Really liking Ty this week. I just got to try to smash some holes in this team. Aggron doesn't want to take this thing on, nor does Tangrowth or Milotic. The best thing that he can kind of want to switch in is possibly that Comb Face, but then Iron Head totally just runs that through. So if I can get some predictions right, Ty is looking fantastic. So his name is not Tailong, his name is Tylong, doing Ty very dirty. But really liking Ty this week. Next up, we are rocking Accio. Accio running a pretty cool set this week, I think, with the weakness policy and stance changeability, Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, Close Combat, and Autotomize. Max special attack with the Rash nature and 176 in HP, and then 80 in speed. This is my win con this week. I think I can probably get a weakness policy Autotomize off in front of a couple different things. Probably Terrakion. I think if he's like Choice Scarf Terrakion, he'll try to revenge me with Earthquake. But I can pop my weakness policy, get an Autotomize off in front of that thing, and then just start spamming some moves. So it looks really, really good. Hopefully Tangrowth will be low enough and he's not AV, so where Shadow Ball or Flash Cannon could pick it off. Same with Milotic. I got to make sure that thing is low enough that I can pick it off with a Shadow Ball. Obviously, Comb Face not doing anything to me, so I can threaten that out pretty hard with a Flash Cannon. It's also just a decent early game breaker. It can do some good things against his team, and it pressures a bunch of things like that Slow King or that Frost Last if I was like a physical set with Shadow Claw or Shadow Sneak or something of the sorts. So I'm really liking Accio this week, and I hope it can put in some work in the late game. Next up, we're rocking Lele Pawns. Lele running a Choice Spec set this week with Psychic Surge, Psychic Moonblast, Focus Blast, and Psyshock. 252 in special attack with the Modest Nature, 124 in speed, and then 128 in HP. Just like Urshifu, I'm just trying to like smash through this team as best I can this week. It's just so bulky, and I'm just not pulling any punches. So Psychic and Psyshock are there, along with Moonblast for very solid dual stab and hits various things on his team. Focus Blast is just there for that Mega Aggron. And this just does a whole bunch against his mons. Again, I got to get some predictions right. If he switches in Magron on a Psychic or a Psyshock or something of the sort, going into G-King or anything else, then I'll be in a pretty rough spot because I don't have super solid switch-ins to that. But I think that I can get those right. And even something like a Spec Psychic in Terrain is going to do a whole lot to Magron. So really liking Lele this week. Next up, we are rocking Sporticus the Amoonguss. Sporticus running a Rocky Helmet Regenerator set this week. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Spore, and Toxic, fully physically defensive. This is one of my best switch-ins to Mega Aggron. It's also a decent switch into Tangrowth and Milotic as well. Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb hit the latter two. I can try to put Magron to sleep or at least force him out into something else. And then Toxic is there for going into various mons like that Tangrowth or Milotic if it wants to come stay in. Also going into Landorus as well. So I could see a Safety Goggles mon. But I doubt it. His switch into this is probably just Magron, which if I can put that to sleep, that'll be really, really cool because it'll let me do some other stuff with mons like Lele. So really liking that option this week. Next up, we are rocking Revelation 19, the Tornadus, with a Charty Berry set this week with the Prankster ability, Knockoff, Icy Wind, U-Turn, and Defog. Max HP essentially max speed as well, and then 12 in special defense. This is my kind of sort of answer to Landorus. I do outspeed Landorus, and Icy Wind would hit that thing really hard if he's not Choice Scarf. I can probably take a hit from this thing. I have Charty Berry for Rock Slide going into this, and I can hopefully take, like, Earth Power obviously won't be doing anything, and I don't think Sludge Wave or Psychic will kill me or anything. I am kind of bulky. I do have max HP, and it wouldn't be, like, Stabber or super effective or anything, so I'm hoping that I can take at least one hit and just try to hit it with Icy Wind. He'll probably expect that, but I can at least scare it out. Maybe I can pivot with U-Turn. So, Lando just kind of, like, pops off, so this is my kind of answer to it. If Rev just dies, then whatever. But I have some other answers to try to get rid of it. And then last but not least, we are rocking Big Henry. Big Henry running a leftovers Sandstream set this week with Explosion, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Protect, fully specially defensive. This is another kind of decent way to kind of get rid of Landorus. If he wants to stay in and click like Earth Power against me, I can hopefully live it and I can just go boom. This is another solid, decent lead. I can just get some rocks up. His removal is not stellar. His best removal options are stuff like Turtonator and Comfey, or maybe that Lando if he's running that, but I can get some rocks up. Hopefully they can stay and just chip in the defensive walls when they come in. Toxic is going into Milotic, Tangrowth when those want to come out, and then Protect is just for scouting, also getting a little bit more HP back with leftovers. So hopefully Henry can do some stuff. Hopefully the boom works. If I explode into Mega Aggron coming in and it does like 2%, then I'll be extra super sad, but you know, that's the game you play sometimes. But with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Alrighty guys, we're about to hop into this Week 8 match against GentlemanThomas in the Copenhagen Gallades. You can see the 6 I expecting to bring up on the screen. Landorus, Terrakion, Mega Aggron, Tangrowth, Milotic, and that Comfey. You've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the team builder. But with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Okay, yep, that's just what I expected. Very cool. Okay, so on a lead perspective, I could see him leading Magron to set rocks. I could see him leading Terrakion to pressure me or also set rocks. I don't hate my tie lead. Tie matches up pretty good against everything, and I can just try to bonk something. Terrakion, I can just switch into Amoonguss on the CC. If he starts setting up, that's bad, but yeah, let's lead tie, see what happens. I can make him think I'm scarfed, maybe. Alright, Ty's gonna come out. He's just gonna lead Lando. And you can kill me with literally anything. I mean, Earth Power only has a small chance to kill me. If you're like Sheer Force Life Orb. I'm gonna stay in and click Wicked Blow. I don't think you're gonna stay in here. I could totally be Choice Scarf and just kill you with an Ice Punch. I gotta check if this thing gets any moves that actually kill me. Because I know you don't get flying moves unless you're running like acrobatics, which would be like wild, and I don't think you do. But I have never fought Landorus with Sheer Force before. So we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah, his best move to hit me is Earth Power. It doesn't even get acrobatics. It gets Fly. He's power of Fly. Even then, Earth Power might do more. I'm gonna stay in and click Wicked Blow. I really don't. I think you're just gonna U-turn out, or you're gonna hard switch into Comfey. But I'm gonna try to pop something immediately. Just getting rid of Landorus solves 90% of my problems. He's gonna stay in. I lived it. Excellent. Goodbye. Awesome. I'm totally okay with that turn 1 trade. If it turns out it's gonna bite me in the ass, then whatever. But sending an Ubers to hell rocks. So, yeah. Almost max HP, baby. That'll do it. Attaboy Ty, way to eat that. Yeah, there was a roll to kill me if he was, like, not boosting. If he was, like, naive or timid or something of the sort. But it was only 12.5%. So, I'm okay with that play. And now, realistically, this thing dies to hitting a Rocky Helmet Tangrowth once, but I'm cool with that because Lando's out of the way. A 1-for-1 trade on Sheer Force Lando is I'm totally okay with. Alright, Rack's gonna come out. I'm probably just gonna click EQ if we're out of bat. I'm gonna go into Sporticus. It's my best play. If he clicks Zen, then that's also cool. I'm gonna get to see some investment on this guy. If he sets up an SD, then okay. If he sets up an SD, I probably lose the game. I could, because I don't have like anything to actually hit him on Thorn. I could just go into, I could click EQ. Totally cool. He's Lorb. If he clicks Zen Headbutt right here, I'm probably dead. But he's an SD set. Probably. I can take a Stone Edge. Let's see if I can take a Zen Headbutt. Yep. Alright, Sun's going to sleep. Unless Tangrowth comes out, then I can Toxic it. I'm okay with Tangrowth comes out. As I can either go into Rev and try to pressure and just U-turn. Or I can just click Split Bomb. His Tangrowth doesn't have anything that should be able to hit me. But Giga Drain doesn't do nearly enough that I would want to click that. And putting something to sleep is a little better. He's probably got aromatherapy on Gomfei. But if he does that, I can take that situation and get into Aegis. And click. Aggron comes out. Go to sleep. Super cool. And I'm going to go into tie. If he doubles, cool. Nope. And what's Comfey. Do I want to click Ironhead? Probably. CC does a lot. Dang, Ironhead doesn't even kill. I'm just going to click CC. If Comfey comes out, or Tangrowth comes out, he's Helmet probably. I'm going to die. Yep. That's cool. That's tragic, honestly. I want to see how much Aggron's going to take from a Psychic. Probably not a lot, but I am Lele. It does a lot. It does close to half. God, Lele is just obnoxious. You can also just click Focus Miss on that thing coming in as well. Let's go into Lele. I still have a super safe switch in to Sporticus. So I'm going to click Psychic. Aggron probably comes out here, but you don't love taking 2. I don't want to lose Lele. Because I still need it for breaking this Tangrowth. But Focus Miss here is very obvious. So I think he's going to go into not Aggron, maybe? Or he just goes into Aggron because he's asleep. Either way, I'm just going to play it safe. Yeah, Comfey comes out. Goodbye. Crit didn't matter. No way. I was max special attack, modest, choice specs, and terrain. Yeah, depending on his investment, that was a roll. Max HP, no SPDF. That was 68.8% in my favor. Still not super great, but I mean, regardless, I gotta just clicked it again. I will say, Lele and Urshifu are killing things. They're just not the things I wanted them to. But Magron's probably gonna come out here. Or Terrakion. Either way, my play is to go into Amoonguss. Yeah, Aggron comes out. I'm gonna go into Sporticus. Realistically, I gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna kill this thing because I lost Urshifu. So let's go into Sporticus. I can't take the risk that he wakes up turn 1 and clicks Heavy Slam and I die, because otherwise I lose my breaking potential. Still asleep. I'm gonna say you wake up now, and I'm gonna put you back to sleep. Nah, he's still awake. Go back to bed. And now I think you're going to, I don't know. He wakes up. He T-waves me. Okay. Bye-bye. Back to sleep. And into Accio. And I'm going to click Shadow. 42. I got a Spit F drop. Very sad. Very sorry. Click Shadow Ball again. He's got to switch out into Milo this time. So I could double into Amoonguss, but yeah, Milo comes out. Let's see how much this does. I want to see your investment. You're bulky. Okay. Flame Orb. Makes sense. You can flip turn. Back into Aggron on my Amoonguss coming out. You can just click Stall. I'm going to go into... I can also Rev. Go into Rev as U-turn. And Rev is essentially useless, so let's do that. He also pressures that Terrakion, because Terrakion's not Choice Scarf. So... I'm going to go into Rev here. There's the flip turn. Totally cool with that. Aggron comes out. Nice little U-turn here. For the literal 1% it's going to do. Oh, 4%. That's honestly pretty hype. Back into Accio. He's still asleep. And I'm going to click Shadow Ball again. I'm going to pray you wake up and click Earthquake, and I'm going to click Autonomize so I can get my weakness spells. Yeah. Wake up and click Earthquake. Yeah, baby! Alright, that was best case scenario. Now I'm going to click some moves a couple times. I'm hoping I can kill Milotic from this range. I don't have King Shield, obviously. So I'm just going to pray that I can. But yeah, I did a 33 last time. I think it might be a roll. That thing was like fully split, I think. Alright, stance change. Shadow Ball comes off. Goodbye. Shadow Ball. Actually, you probably... Yeah, Milo comes out. I don't know exactly how much this is going to do. I've popped this thing, though. And Terrakion, I have probably ways to deal with. So I'm going to click Shadow Ball and just hope it kills. Nice. I click Shadow Ball again. See how much this does. He was probably Fizz Def because he was Helmet. Alright, Rack comes out. I think I EV'd this right. Flash Cannon's going to come off. That is what I call a riveting win. Accio putting in some fantastic work. Very sorry for those hacks there. That crit. I don't think the crit mattered, but the Spadef drop was definitely really rough because that forced a different play. So, GG's to GentlemanThomas. Thank you for getting this game in with me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the battle, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you guys are new. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.